So per Adam Schefter and Jeff Darlington, the seemingly impossible but yet inevitable has happened. Tom Brady is retiring from the NFL after 22 seasons spent with the New England Patriots and Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 7 Super Bowl wins, 15 Pro Bowl appearances, 3 MVPs. What was it, 10 total Super Bowl appearances, 7 wins? It's insane what he's able to accomplish throughout his career with 2 different franchises. This past year alone, despite being 44 years old, or turning 44 in the course of the season, led the NFL in pass attempts, completions, yards, touchdowns. Second team All-Pro, probably going to finish second in the MVP voting behind Aaron Rodgers. Crazy to think about what he's able to accomplish at this age, and probably could continue to play at a high level. Maybe not throwing 700-something passes like he did this year again next season, because that's just not sustainable for anybody, let alone someone who's in his mid-40s. But I think he still could have been a top 5, top 6 quarterback going forward if he decided to play another year or two. And obviously, a lot of factors probably went into his decision to retire. He probably looked at the roster of the Buccaneers, saw Chris Godwin going to free agency, saw some of the upcoming decisions with guys like Rob Gronkowski, Ndamukong Suh, Levante David, saw what the salary cap was at, even though the salary cap's going up, but probably understood that they weren't going to be able to put the same team back together. Carlton Davis sitting for agency. The injuries this year alone, especially on defense, kind of really put a lot of pressure on the offense. Even to the backfield, injuries to Giovanni Bernard, Leonard Fournette, put a lot of pressure on Tom Brady's arm throwing the ball, which is why he led the NFL with 719 pass attempts. He probably looked at all that, probably looked at his family, kids are growing up, and it's kind of at the time where if you keep playing, you're going to start missing some magical moments. He probably already has, unfortunately, but that's kind of what comes with being a professional athlete. You're working long days, you're away from your family quite often, and you're missing a lot of their early moments in their lives, especially during football season. Tom Brady's played a lot of extra time, a lot of extra games in his career, going deep into the postseason, being away from his family for more extended times. And with COVID restrictions for the past couple of years, I'm sure that's even been more exacerbated and more problematic for him. And now, like I said, his kids are still fairly young. He's got 3 of them. And it's probably just, he's looking at like, man, I've done all this stuff. And yeah, you would have loved to go out on top. Everyone was saying, and myself included, they're saying, I don't think he'll retire because he wants to try to get one more shot at it. Shot going out on top. Maybe he regrets not retiring after last year. Maybe he doesn't. It's hard to say. But at some point, that desire to win, desire to go on top, ends up competing against the actual physical strain of playing football. Because there's a lot of stuff that goes into that with your arm, with your body, taking all those shots. And then the draw of being home with your family, being there for those kind of moments with your kids, your wife. And everything comes under football. There are opportunities that come out for you to be involved in the business side of things, for you to just take time off, go on vacations whenever you want to, not have to be blocking up everything from August until, February, essentially, to go spend time with your teammates and play football. That opens a lot of opportunities for guys like Tom Brady and people like Gisele Bündchen, who have all the money they could have won and all the opportunities to travel the world, be with their kids, and create some special moments. So, not shocked. Like I said, it is shocking Tom Brady retired, because the idea that he would retire just seemed impossible for the longest period of time, even though it makes a lot of sense that he would hang them up now. It certainly is shocking. I mentioned this in a shorter React video I had that was just like a 1-minute clip when we initially got word that he was retiring. I said, I don't remember the NFL without Tom Brady. I am going to be 23 in March, and Tom Brady was drafted in 2000. So he was drafted just after I turned 1 year old. I don't remember the NFL without Tom Brady. Frankly, I'm a Steelers fan. I don't remember the NFL without Ben Roethlisberger. I don't. The first year I can actually remember football was his rookie season. So, it tells you Brady's been around doing it for even longer than that, obviously. And now having both those guys gone really changed the landscape of the NFL, because those are 2 guys, like I said, I don't remember the NFL before those 2. So, definitely going to shake things up quite a bit. Brady walks away with a really good case for being the greatest player of all time. I know some people I follow, Mike Kennedy, if you know his YouTube channel, he's got a couple hundred followers, about 500, maybe 1,000, I don't know. I forget what numbers that exactly. He's ahead of me on that regard, but He's a big-time Peyton Manning GOAT kind of person. He really pushes Peyton Manning over Tom Brady in those situations, but I don't know. I kind of feel like it's down between guys like Lawrence Taylor, Jim Brown, Jerry Rice, and Tom Brady, in my personal opinion. I won't try to make a decision live on camera today who's the best, but Brady's got 7 Super Bowl titles, 3 MVPs, second-team All-Pro at 44 years old. Pretty darn impressive. Now, where does this leave Tampa Bay? It puts Tampa Bay in a pretty hard spot. Bruce Arians already said he's coming back next year, so we know he's going to be around. Supposedly, Byron Leftwich is being courted by a bunch of other teams. Like the Saints are in there, so are the Jaguars, so he might be gone. It's going to be interesting to see how much of that staff comes back, the coaching staff comes back under Arians, to see who's calling plays next year and where do you go from here. Do you try to offload some guys and get draft capital back to rebuild? Do you go out and get Jameis Winston again and try that all over again? Is it Kyle Trask time? And what do you do at quarterback going forward to your Tampa Bay? That's going to be something we need to talk about in the offseason. Probably one of the biggest talking points is going to be, what do they do? Because they still have a very talented team. Even with the guys they're going to lose in free agency, they still have a squad that can compete. Probably not for a Super Bowl, but definitely for the playoffs. It might still be the best team in that conference, not the conference, in the division. So we'll see. But yeah, Tom Brady officially retiring from football. The NFL's all-time leader in pass completions, pass attempts, passing yards, and passing touchdowns is officially retired.